Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us. It's May 25th, 6 p.m. Pacific time here for our weekly, live Q&A where I take your general immigration questions and I try to answer them the best way possible. And for general education kind of stuff, we can't go too case specific because I need to sit talk with you a lot more. But what I do is I offer three free consultations during this live session. So for those watching live, all you need to do is like and subscribe and comment, say consultation. My wonderful assistant Katrina will name off people. She'll name off every 10 minutes one person. Have a free 15-minute video consultation. I'll give you instructions where you're chosen. So stay tuned in. Definitely leave a comment and stay tuned in to hear your name announced. And we can talk in private that way, see what's going on with your case in a better area. One note is we have updated and changed the channel name, especially if you're watching on YouTube. We're calling it U.S. Immigration Talk instead of JQK Law Firm. I think it better describes what we're doing on this channel on YouTube. If you haven't already, definitely go to the YouTube page for U.S. Immigration Talk or JK Law. Probably both of them should pop up, and you get some information there or be able to follow up on all the content we're putting out. Also, if you're interested in a marriage green card case, a fiancé visa case, the first place you really should go to is marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That website you could download for free, the ultimate marriage green card guide that really breaks down the process for you. So you have an understanding before you go and talk with an immigration attorney. You're prepared and you can ask good questions that way. The website is marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Finally, before we start, I'm doing a free seminar every week for the rest of this quarter. It's a live seminar, Fridays, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, where we talk about the EB1A Extraordinary Ability Green Card. So for people that are on top of their fields, a few percent of the people that are really shining their field, it's a relatively fast green card to get. It's called EB1A Extraordinary Ability. And so if you want to check that out, definitely email me. I'll give you the login info, how to go and watch that for the next few Fridays. It's a lot of fun, a lot of information. It's a really in-depth consultation session almost, and you can ask questions too. But we're doing it in a private session. It's not going to be public on the YouTube page, like a lot of Q&A. So we're going to start in a second. We have several people. JTA38 says, "Hey John, hey to you." Io says, "Hey John, hey." Emmanuel says, "Hi, thanks to be all around you all. Thank you so much for coming." And with that, let's jump into questions. All right. So our first question, user 22 asks, "Hey sir, my asylum case was dismissed because my individual hearing next year, but my judge dismissed. What to do now?" This is too case specific. This is something you should really talk with an immigration attorney in private about. And my office doesn't handle removal defense or asylum, so I suggest contacting another firm. But this is too specific to be able to talk about in a public forum. Our next question is by Io. Io asks, "I just got my EAD from iOS. Those persons filed for a green card in the United States. While the case is pending, they can apply for a work permit, and they just got it." And he asks, "I'm also currently doing OPT. That's when you have a work permit after you graduate from a student visa for a year or maybe more sometimes to be able to study and get some real life experience in the United States. And so that's called OPT, optional practical training." It says, "My wife just applied for N400. Can I work with the EAD based on adjustment status or what till I get my green card?" So it's up to you what you want to do. You can continue on OPT, and then when it ends, you can not work and wait for your case to go to avoid violating status. Alternatively, if you got your EAD, you still won't. You'll violate the F1, so your F1 student visa goes away. But if you have a work permit and you have adjustment pending, it's not a problem. The only issue could be if your adjustment of status case fails, you don't have the F1 student visa to fall back on. So that's cautious. Now, I don't know the strength of your marriage case to say how strong it is. Your wife's N400 filing doesn't really matter in this situation, but it really goes to if you want to keep the underlying F1 status, or if you want to, just work somewhere else outside the OPT, and you have a strong case. You're not really worried about the adjustment of status failing. So this is really something you got to talk in private to see what's good. I can't really advise you what to do in your case because I need to know what your goals are and what your life situation is to properly do that. Thank you for your question. Thanks for tuning in. Daryl Winbaugh says, hello to you too. Thank you so much for joining. When y'all say hi, please let me know what city or location, state, country you're tuning in from. It's interesting for me to know where everyone's from. Stephanie asks, "Hey John, USCIS mentioned in their public engagement last week that there was internal restructuring at the California Service Center, which delayed processing times for the Form I-129F. Do you know anything about this restructuring?" Thank you. No, I didn't join your public engagement call they had. I'm trying to find the notes for it. Haven't been able to get it yet, but I don't have any additional information. Now, the thing is, I've had California Service Center fiancé visa cases, I-129F for fiancé, filed at the same time. One got approved in 4 months and one got approved in 12 months. So, it's just USCIS. You never know what's going on. And even if they tell us something, you never know if that's, I can't say it's the truth, but it's not a consistent thing. It depends. Every day is a different thing with them. So that's just what we're dealing with. But interesting question. Thank you, Stephanie. Yvette asked, hello, service center request was assigned to an officer for response. Is that good news for me? No, that just means they're looking at something or a case, not good or bad. I mean, just the case is moving forward. If you did a service request, that means you're complaining about something like that. So they're trying to see what you're complaining. That's really what it's all about. I don't know your case. I don't know what's going on. So it's too case specific to be able to get more of that. But thanks for coming on and asking anyways. Mehmet asks, hello, sir. Why is asylum green card taking so long? I don't know. Just they're not prioritizing it. They know you have work authorization in the United States. You could be here. You could travel with a refugee travel document. So for them, it's just probably not important. It's not a priority because they know you're here and you're okay. So there's no rush. That's probably what it is. May's tuning in from California. Thank you, May, for tuning in. Good to see you. One of our regulars, Jordan 835, asks, hey, John, does marrying a U.S. citizen forgive misrepresentation of non-immigrant visa, for example, adjusting on a B1, B2? So there's a lot of ideas here, and they're not really exactly the way you do it. Now, marriage to a U.S. citizen does not forgive misrepresentation, but gives you the ability, misrepresentation fraud, that is lying essentially, gives you the ability to file for waiver. So there's some options. Waivers are not easy. Now, so that's going to be an issue. You might still get denied. But when you say your example of adjusting on a B1, B2, adjusting on B1, 2 is not fraud. You could do that. Now, if you come in the next day you file, maybe they'll say, oh, you did fraud. I've never seen that actually happen. There's a lot of lawyers who scare you about that. But especially if you're married to a U.S. citizen, that's not something typically handled. In fact, there's court cases that say you shouldn't consider that fraud or you should just let it go. But, just be safe, it's not a good thing to do. But it's not necessarily adjusting on B1, B2 is not necessarily fraud. But marrying a U.S. citizen forgives things like overstaying a visa or working without authorization. Those are the things that it could forgive, or previous violations if you're doing adjustment status. It can get very technical, but those are the big picture stuff. Thank you for your question. Good to see you. Yeah. Alois asks, I want to file for my sons, 26 and 30 now, married. I'm a green card holder. How long does it take? The F2B category is probably going to take 7 or 9 years or something like that. If you're in, I don't know if you want to check this stuff, this question of how long it takes, it changes every day and every month. So it's no exact answer. And your case could be different. Your case could take even much longer. It depends on what country you're from. So the best thing to do is not ask me how long it takes, but go and Google and type in Visa Bulletin. And this is where they put the line of how long things are taking. So when you go to the Visa Bulletin website, I could share the screen and I'll take too long. I got to do it next time. But if you go to the Visa Bulletin website and check the most recent month, in your case, you're the F2B category. Look at the F2B, see what country you're coming from in the columns in the first chart, and that'll tell you which cases are being adjudicated right now. That'll give you an idea how long the line is. So that line sometimes doesn't move, sometimes it moves really fast. That's the best answer you can give. But thank you for your question. Daryl follows up. My wife just filed for her citizenship, but under marriage category, my current status is pending change of status to student and has been pending for 9 months. Will the application affect my change of status change? I'm not sure exactly what it is. This is too case specific. If you have a change of status pending and you file for adjustment of status, it will deny your change of status because you indicated immigrant intent. So that's going to happen. But this is just too case specific. We got to set the schedule for a consultation to talk about this. It's too much going on. Stephanie, sorry for the double questions. No problem. Happy to help, Stephanie. And Stephanie asks, are fiancés able to drive using an international driver's license when they enter U.S. and are pending adjustment of status after marriage? I think this may be case state dependent. Thank you again. Yeah, it doesn't matter with your fiance, whoever you are. There's a lot of people who come visit the United States, and if they have a valid foreign driver's license, usually it's okay, but it's state dependent. And it kind of is like some police officers, whatever the rule is, will just do what they want to do, give you a ticket or do something. There was a case in Georgia where this Canadian woman was here on a student visa. She was using her Canadian driver's license, and apparently it was legal for her to do that. The officers took her in, arrested her, and all this, kept her in jail for 2 days. It turns out the officer was completely wrong. So, even if you're right, sometimes it doesn't matter. Daryl follows up. When will my change of status to F1 be approved? It's been 9 months. I have no answer to timelines. No one knows when the timelines are going to happen. Now, Daryl, I know you got a lot of questions. Let's just announce you. My assistant did announce you, but our free consultation winner. All you got to do is take a screenshot of wherever you're watching this and email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. That's my email, info@jqqlaw.com, and have the screenshot show your username so I know it's you. Email it to me. I'll give you instructions on how to schedule the 15-minute video consultation. For those just tuning in to the live show, we give away free video consultations. All you got to do is like and subscribe, and then write consultation in the comments. And in 10 minutes and 20 minutes, we'll get two more. I'll give out free video consultations. You'll enjoy it. It's gonna be good having a private chat with you and seeing you. And before we go more questions, I do want to announce we have an ultimate marriage green card guide. The best way for you to learn what's going on the fiance visa, the marriage visa case. Download the ultimate marriage green card guide at marriageimmigration.law.com. You're going to learn a lot from that ebook. You're going to really enjoy it. And also, if you're interested in the EB-1A Extraordinary Ability Green Card, these are for people that are really good at what they do. They're the top. I'm doing a weekly seminar every Friday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, called the EB-1A Extraordinary Playbook, where we go through the A to Z of the process and the laws behind the EB-1A for people that are potentially applying. So you'll have an idea what's going on. It lasts around 45 minutes. It's going to be very helpful. We even have lawyers tuning in a lot of times to watch it, so it's a lot of fun. It's live too, but it's live in a private group. It's not made public. So if you want to join, what you got to do is to email me, and I'll send you the registration information. But thank you, and we'll jump to the next questions. Mo asks, good to see you again. Thank you for sharing great information. Thank you, May. I'm not Mo. May. I appreciate it, May. God bless. Hayato says, why does it take long for my wife's green card removing temporary conditions? The USCIS does not put removal of conditions as a priority. So these are people who have 2-year green cards based on marriage and even investment kind of suitors, but let's talk about the marriage version. And to get a full 10-year green card, they have to file Form I-750 removal of conditions. On the priority scale of marriage cases, they have adjustment of status number 1, and then naturalization number 2. And when it comes to then removal conditions number 3. So most of the officers are involved in the other ones. No priority on I-751. The Ombudsman's office has even said this in an annual report last year. So the reality is it's not a priority, so it gets backed up, and unfortunately, it's a mess. 29 Super C, one of our regulars, says, good night, Attorney Khosravi. My company should receive my green card tomorrow night and hopefully mail to my U.S. address. What a long journey. My God has been there and every step of the way. Well, God bless you. Congratulations. You've had a tumultuous 2 years waiting for your green card. 29 Super C has been a regular viewer. We've talked before in private. I'm glad you're nearing the end of it. Get that green card and get your life started in the United States. I wish them a bunch of success. 29 Super C. Marianne asks, green card application is pending since January. Haven't got my work permit. When should I expect it? Whenever USCIS gets around to it. Flavor Fortune asks, in Pakistan, why we need to wait 14 months till today for apply for visit visa? It is not scheduling visitor visas in most of the world. A lot of places are a year or 2 years wait to get a tourist visa, even interview appointment. So they just backed up. COVID shut down operations, and they haven't gotten back in full order yet. Sawdust, hello, sir. I'm a U.S. citizen, and my wife's I-130 petition is being actively reviewed at the Potomac Service Center. Do you know how long it takes for them to review our case and what the next step is? I don't know how long to review they take. It's up to them. Next step, I don't know. Is your wife in the United States or outside? Has your wife ever had any things that would require a waiver? And what country is she from? See, it just goes in deep to tell you exactly what the next steps are. If you use probably consular processing, I'm guessing, and then you take it from there. Download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. That'll spell it out for you. It's a 40-plus page book. Go to marriageimmigration.law.com. And if you want to schedule a private consultation, just consult my office, email us, and we'll schedule. It is a paid consultation fee. But I would just say download the ebook first, and that'll answer most of your questions. And if you have more, just schedule a full consultation. Well, thank you for your question. And Life asks, also, the civil surgeon used correction tape to correct error in the I-693 form. Will that cause an RFE? I mean, it's up to the officer if you want to do RFE. Probably not, especially because the envelope's sealed. But, it's up to USCIS what they want to do. They could always I had a colleague where right now, because of COVID, they relaxed the requirement where you have to have a wet ink signature when you send in a form to USCIS. So before COVID, you have to actually have a pen sign and mail that. Now they allow us to sign it and the client take a photo of that page and email it to us to print. So that way I don't have to go meet up with my client to get a signed signature. They can just print it at their house, sign it, and then take a photo of it, send it to me. I print it here, I mail it to USCIS. A colleague of ours did that, and USCIS came back and said, no, this is a digital signature. It's not a signature that was originally a pen. You did it with a computer. We don't accept it, and denied their case. So it's wrong. They should have known better, but that's just what we're dealing with, Beverly asks, my mom has a criminal record. Can I still make her a U.S. citizen? It depends. We got to know what's going on in the record. And you wouldn't make her a citizen. You make her a green card holder first. But there's just a lot that needs to happen. So you should consult with an immigration in private. It's not something you can answer on like this. It has to be, you need all the criminal records, certified court records, arrest records. We need to see what's going on with that first. Side follows up. Thank you. You're welcome. God bless you. Samudra asks, I have an I-140 EB2 NIW approved. Congrats. Consular processing India. Affidavit support fee shows exempt in my CI account. Should I submit financial or just civil documents? So let's back it up. The kind of case this person has is called a national interest waiver. This is the person whose work, they're so accomplished in the work that the U.S. wants them to come here because they're going to affect the whole country in some method because they're the importance of the work to do. So congratulations. God bless you. Thank you for coming, share your talents in the United States. Now note, your consular processing in India. India is super backed up, so it could be over a year for you to get an embassy appointment. That's there. But when you're doing this employment-based, so EB stands for employment-based, there's no affidavit support requirement. So you don't need to show that at all. You just need to show your civil documents, your birth certificate, marriage or divorce certificates, any criminal records, if any, police certificates, if you're doing consular processing, which you are, passport photo, different stuff like that. If you're from India, the birth certificate issue many times pops up as a problem, so you need to check that out. But those are those. Now, employment-based assumes you're going to come to the United States and make money, and so they don't really need affidavit support. Employment that can financially support you and help you out, so you don't become a public charge. They're worried that they won't be able to support yourself, so you need help. But employment-based, they don't make that assumption. So just when you go to the interview, make it clear that you have money and you're working and you have no problem finding a job. So they don't, at the embassy, think that you're not going to be doing something to be able to afford to live here. But overall, you don't need to submit financial documents to the National Visa Center. Drew asks, how do you know what priority date a field office is working on? We don't know. It's not, the field offices don't want to say work on priority dates. They just work on whichever file's there. So we have no information on how they do internally, or every office is different. They changed it, so there's no way to know. Dwayne asks, hey John, what could do towards my case going forward? What could probably you do towards my case? I don't know, Dwayne. I don't know anything about your case. I can't answer that. Asma asks, hello, I'm a U.S. citizen. My husband got documents ready qualified from December 2022. Can you tell me when he'll get an interview date? No, no one knows that. 29, Super C says, thanks for everything, Attorney Kastravi. I would not forget your help in a very tough time. God bless you. I don't think I could be there in some form or fashion to help you. I know it's been a lot of ups and downs, but you got to the finish line and get your life started in the United States. You're going to have a lot of success here. Christiana asks, what happens when you're approved in the green card interview and they said 2 weeks, you're going to receive it, but after 2 weeks you have not received it? Is that normal, that late? No, normally if your green card is approved at a adjustment of status interview with the field office at the USCIS, the green cards typically come within a week or two. If it hasn't, it could take longer. They say 6 weeks on their own, but you got to be careful. The post office may have lost it, or the mail would have been stolen, may have been stolen from your postal thing. Anything's possible. So unfortunately, usually it comes like a week or two later, but sometimes it doesn't. So thank you, everything persistent. God bless you. And like Chair says, thank you very much. The civil surgeon also didn't put the last page of the form, additional information page, which was blank, in the sealed envelope. Is this normal practice? No, you got to put everything in there. And so you just got to put all the page. I never had that, so I guess it's not normal practice. The doctors put every page in there, and they would just print another page instead of putting white glue. I don't know what's going to happen. Somebody says, thanks a ton. You're welcome. You're welcome. You God bless you. So, there was a big change that's happened with USCIS, and that they're trying to, speed things up. There's been a lot of complaints, obviously. Everyone here has had to deal with the delays that are happening in many aspects of USCIS. And they said they're going to try to get things done, a lot of cases done in 6 months. They opened up premium processing somewhat for certain cases, like the national interest waiver and the EB1C multinational manager category, for cases that were filed months ago. So not new cases, but cases that were pending. So that's the big news that came out today. with regard to premium processing. Now, premium processing says you pay like $2,500 or so more, and they'll make a decision on the I-140 portion or the main portion, not the adjustment status, but that portion, maybe even work permits, depending on what kind of case it is, within like a month. However, even though this law was passed for the USCIS to do that, it's been 2 years or so, and they still haven't instituted it. Just today, they brought in a small part, so that's some positive right there. But it's very difficult because people are stuck waiting and waiting and waiting for these decisions. A lot of bad stuff happens in the meantime. They're waiting so much, so it's something that's really really troublesome and bothers a lot of people. Christian says, "Thank you. You're welcome, Christian. God bless you." We have a Times Square ask, "How long will it take to file for a spouse of a U.S. citizen who has to go through consular processing?" Unfortunately, that's going to take a long time, at least 1.5 years to more. If you depending on what country you're from, India or Pakistan, that could be 2.5, 3 years, or Iran. Just the cases are really backed up. There's the first portion of the case, which is the I-130, and that could take from 4 or 5 months to a year, easy right now. And then once that's approved, the National Visa Center does it. That could take 3 or 6 months, and then the embassy, the scheduled appointment could be anywhere from 3 months to a year or more. I have cases pending over a year for MC interview. Unfortunately, it's really backed up. So you really have to plan ahead of time when you're a couple what you're going to be doing, because these timelines are so out of control. If you have plans to buy a house, if you have plans to have kids, if you have plans to throw a big wedding somewhere, it's a problem. If you have family members who are wondering what's going on, you got to prep them ahead of time. I've had clients where the spouse's family, the foreign family members, get really frustrated, and they think the U.S. citizen spouse or U.S. citizen green card holder is like lying, and they didn't even file anything because it's taking so long. They ask their friends. Their friends are like, "Well, my case, 10 years ago took 6 months, a year. Why is this case 3 years? This husband's probably cheating on me, or he's lying, or he has another wife, or this kind of stuff pops up. It's real, Father-in-laws get really angry, mother-in-laws cry. So it's really important at the very beginning to set yourself up mentally, and the family up as well, that this is no easy task. It's not a joke. And in between, all sorts of mistakes happen. Files get lost. The National Visa Center claims you need documents that you don't need. You get RFEs that don't make any sense. It's a minefield to get it done, but we get it done every day. I have approvals. If you go to my Instagram page, I post approvals and stuff like that, and my reviews, people list of what kind of work I do for them. But sometimes you get to lawsuits. It's a really messy process. It's a fight till the very, very, very end. And then you have cases like someone talked about here, past the question, where everything is done. You come to the United States, and the green card just doesn't come in the mail. I got a message from one of my clients last night. And one thing is, I have a good relationship with my clients. We talk all day, every day. There's no 9 to 5. As long as I could get to the phone, I'll answer my clients, not random people, not people that are not clients. To give you a heads up. He's like, "Damn, it's been 6 months, still no green card after his wife arrived. It's very frustrating." So I gave him tips on what to do, but this kind of stuff happens, and it's very frustrating. Dwayne asked and Life says, "Thank you. Just got confused by Dr. Include last page. USCIS says don't use correction tape, but she used it on words RFE. I've used correction tape myself. It's not that big a deal. I prefer they don't use it. The places I would put correction tape don't matter for the case, but the doctor's part may matter. I'm not sure what section. So like, if it was an unimportant part, they use correction tape, not important. But if it was an important part, that could be problematic. And the last page, it's like that could be RFE. Just have them redo it. Dwayne asked, "My wife is an Army active member, and she deployed. I went to the interview, and the officer rescheduled the interview till my wife come back this day. What can I do on the case?" I think you asked the same question last week. We had a person asking the same question last week. You got to complain to your congressperson, ombudsman's office, the local USCIS office. All these people will say the officer has discretion to do that. For them to interview you without your spouse is in their discretion. I've never had it where they didn't accept it. But I don't know. So Dwayne, my wonderful assistant Katrina said you're a winner for a raffle. So just take a screenshot while you're watching this, so I know it's you, and then email it to me at info@jqklaw.com. We'll have a brief chat to see what's going on. We'll have you do it there, Dwayne. Thank you. Key asks, "I have an EB1 I-140 approved and plan to apply for adjustment status." So this person, I'm not sure which subcategory EB1 it is, but I have a pending asylum. This is a question I get every day. "I have a pending asylum interview, applied for asylum 2016 while being B2 status. Any chance of approval? Matter of LK applies. Thanks." No, most likely be denied. Filing the I-140 was worthless if you're going to do adjustment status in 99% of the time, but you might get lucky. There's random cases where they're approved, But for the most part, if you don't maintain status, they're not going to approve your adjustment of status. And I've seen denials on this all over the place in Florida, New York, Washington State, Texas. Some cases in California doing diversity visa, not the I-140 diversity, have been approved, but those are getting less and less. But you give it a shot. If you have an asylum case pending, if the adjustment's denied, it's not the worst thing because you have a asylum case to fall back on, but you're wasting a bunch of filing fees, and who knows what's going to happen in the interview. But matter LK, it's just a really badly written case. It's too deep to go into here for everybody, but I've done a bunch of videos on already. Sorry, wish I had better information. Byron Nasser, I've been waiting my N400 interview to schedule since November 9th last year. My field office in Texas isn't that busy. Waiting for 6 months not a big deal. Just gotta wait. It's just normal. I don't know why you. Don't worry. I know you worry. You want to say don't worry, but it's just 6 months, 7 months. These cases take a year and a half sometimes. It's just how it is. But that's about it. And life after submitting I-765's work permit with my adjustment status case, is it possible to request EAD expedite if I get a job offer in a few months after submitting I-765? Well, one is the I-765 is being approved pretty quickly in most cases, like 1 or 2 months after filing. So you probably don't need expedite, but you can always give it a shot. I have cases where people have filed expedites based on getting a job. That's really important. It's work, but it depends on the officer that gets the expedite request and what they want to do. So that's that. It's just really luck. Samucha follows up. One more query. I-140 EB2 NIW, Consulate India, working in Singapore currently. At the interview, do I need to confirm U.S. job offer letter or just informal emails of potential job? There's no job offer requirement for an EB2 NIW, but you do need to discuss how you are going to continue your work in the United States. You probably would have talked about this in your I-140. And if you're working in Singapore, you should really transfer your case to be processed in Singapore. There's less of a wait there. So actually, we're in the show, and Samitra, you're a winner for our raffle. So we have a free video consultation, 15 minutes. Just take a screenshot of where you're watching this. So I see your username. I know it's you, and email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. That's info@jqqlaw.com, and we'll take it from there. Let me take some Instagram questions I may have missed. Okay, let's see. We got some Instagram. Hopefully, that's still tuned in. That's true. There's open for unmarried. That's true. F1 visa open. We have a question. Where was it? Okay. Fat says U.S. citizen, kid born out of U.S. So will the kid be a citizen at birth? Not necessarily. It depends. I have a lot of videos on this, Fat, but not necessarily. If you're a U.S. citizen and you have a child born overseas, it's not a guarantee that your child will be a U.S. citizen. It depends on a lot of factors. Matthew asks, waiting 10 months for my work permit adjustment to be approved, married to U.S. citizen. Is that normal? Yeah. In November, they switched it up where work permits are coming 1 or 2 months after filing for adjustment status. So those are going faster. But if you file your adjustment status case before November, those are still taking longer. When they switched up the rules and decided to issue work permits faster, C9 category for adjustment status, they said we're going to do it from new cases, but the old cases are still in the old line and they're just getting longer and longer. So it's not, I don't think it's a fair system that they do. I mean, the new ones get the new rule that's better. The old ones are still stuck. But yeah, if it's 10 months ago, you're in this bad loop. So I have no answer for you, Matthew. I'm sorry to tell you that. Let's take 2 more questions. Monkey asks, hello, sir. Question is, my wife's U.S. citizen. We got married. So what do we need? What is needed required for the file of the case? Well, you're the perfect candidate. If you want to learn about marriage-based and fiance-based green cards, first thing you should do is download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And that'll tell you 98% of what you need to know, but you should still talk to some lawyers to flesh it out. But I'll have your answers there. And Life Cherish follows up, is an explanation letter enough for any clerical mistake in a marriage certificate, or new correct certificate after will be required? You need a proper marriage certificate, certified or original. There's no explanation letters, so you need to have correct stuff. I don't know what the clerical mistake is. What you consider a clerical mistake could be a massive mistake, in my opinion. So I have to see documents. I can't just tell you what a document is good or not, or what this answer. But the general rule is you need to have an original certified copy that doesn't have errors. And last question, Jorge asks, I got my medical RFE employment base. Does this usually mean the interview is going to be waived? No, that doesn't mean that. If they ask you to mail in, because there's 2 types of medical base RFE. So when you're filing for adjustment status green card in the United States, you have to do a medical checkup. And when you submit the case, if you don't send a medical checkup with the case, they either A, send you a letter that reminds you to do a medical, but that's it, or B, they send you a letter that says, mail us your medical. If they ask you to mail the medical checkup to them, yeah, that means the interview's probably gonna be waived. They're probably gonna approve your case pretty soon after they get the medical checkup. So when you say medical RFE, I need to know which one it is. There's two different kinds of RFEs people get. And again, it always goes back to I got to see the documents to really answer this stuff. So thank you all for joining us. If you want to learn more about the EB1A Extraordinary Ability Green Card, join the EB1A Playbook, Extraordinary Playbook, where we talk and break down the EB1A Green Card Friday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. Just email me to get registration information. Happy to help with that. It's a lot of fun during that session. Learn about marriage green card, the marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. If you want to schedule a private video consultation with myself, just email me at info@jqqlaw.com. Thank you, everyone, who joined. We made it through this session with a little bit of coughing, but I'm going to have to take a break for this throat. Talk a lot every day, and this is the last one of the day. God bless everyone. Be safe.